Hey guys, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 eye-catching hooks for you and your short form content. So I guess without further ado, let's just get started. So thanks for checking out this video. Like I said, I'm going to be going over just that. So let's just get right into the chase and cut the BS. So for one, this first hook is very, very intriguing. Sorry about that. So this one is called "Please ignore this if you enjoy being blank." Now this hook is obviously intriguing because it makes the user want to not deal with an undesired result or an outcome. Now, for example, let's say you don't want to be broke or unhealthy or sad or any like negative feeling or trait. You utilize these hooks to trigger just that and to trigger that person that has a potential desire of wanting to avoid these things. Now, with that being said, you got to use this hook to target those exact people or even people that are afraid of these things or people that want to avoid these things, whether they already are dealing with that themselves or they just want to avoid these things in general. Now, again, this could apply to anything negative, or it could also just apply to some random problem. Like you could, for example, just say, please ignore this if you enjoy, I don't know, please ignore this if you enjoy getting sunburned. Let's just say that, right? And then you have this like special UV protection sunscreen or sunblock or whatever that doesn't have any like chemicals that can ruin your body. Let's say that's your product, right? You make TikTok videos on that. It's almost summertime, so that's perfect. Like perfect timing for that, right? So if you can do something like that, if you have a product like that, if you can avoid people, if you can avoid a undesired trait or feeling or outcome, utilize this hook. Now, hook number 2 is 3 must-haves in your blank as a target, and that's what you put in your target audience. So let's say 3 must-haves in your, let's say, kitchen as a chef, right? And then you have 2 regular products, and then all of a sudden you have your unique product, right? So this hook is eye-catching because it targets a specific audience and it addresses people's possible desires. It's like you need these 3 things in order to in your kitchen in order to like be a chef or whatever, or like be a good chef or something like that, right? So if you're saying an item is a must-have, chances are that this target audience either wants that item or already has it. Chances are they don't have all 3, or maybe they do. And if they do, perfect, because maybe they can give more social proof. But if they don't, that's a perfect chance, and that's the people that you should be looking after. Because if you're promoting a product, let's say, or maybe all 3 products are yours, right? If you're promoting one product or multiple products, showcase them in those videos, in these types of videos, because again, it's a great way to target a specific audience. It's a great way to target people that are in need of these things, and it's also a great way to inform people that, hey, if you want this, you gotta have this, right? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like saying, like, if you want to be rich, you gotta have money, right? Like if you want to be a good chef, you gotta have these little tools, right? And obviously this can apply to anything. It doesn't have to be a chef or anything of that nature. It could be literally anything. So if you have something that could target someone's desires or something that they need in order to achieve a specific outcome, these are the types of videos you should be making. Now, hook number 3, this might shock you, but blank, tell your little story, right? This could be literally about anything. And the reason why it's intriguing because it tells a specific story about something, whether that's an experience or technically all stories are experiences, but you get the point. Right? Like it's intriguing because it's telling a specific story about something and it's said in a way that triggers that curiosity. When you hear that this might shock you, but you're like thinking, what the hell is this person talking about? Right? And it intrigues you and you want to listen to it, even if, it has nothing to do with what you're, doing or interested in, because it's a very interesting story. So this has a chance to not only intrigue those that are in your already set audience or, set demographic, but even people that can branch out of that, and chances are they can share that video and target someone that hasn't ever watched your videos before, and boom, it's a snowball effect. So even if they have no clue about who you are, like this could literally have good potential to reach out to people outside of the space that you're already in. So it's a great way to show how your product. It's also a great way to just show how good your product or service is and how it's differentiated from the best. If you frame that correctly. But again, you can even just tell an experience about using a specific thing. And you might be like, this might shock you, but I used this product and I thought it was really good. I know a lot of people said it was really bad, but firsthand experience, and then you show proof. Or even just say like, this might shock you, but I know everyone says this, and this, but really my product or whatever does it better, and this is how it does it, blah, blah, blah. Again, if you frame it the right way, it could definitely be useful. But either way, I definitely think it's a hook that you should utilize. Now, hook number 4 is myths about blank that make me cringe. Now, this can, again, be about anything, but this hook can pretty much be a good way to debunk against common questions or objections with your product or service. Like maybe it's like myths about high ticket sales that make me cringe. You know, like where it's like, oh, like you don't make a lot of money, or, you know, blah, 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 whatever. Right? It could be a way to address those concerns in your niche or industry, and just a way to debunk them, or at least give your take on it, or share your experiences with these, you know, takes or opinions. Now, it's also a great way to just frame it in a way where you can convince those who are pretty much uncertain or have doubts on the product or service or industry, right? Like, let's say, like high ticket sales, for example. Let's say like they're uncertain on going into high ticket sales because, you know, it's a lot of work, or because, you know, maybe the commission structures aren't bad, or maybe they feel like they're going to be used or undervalued in their where they work for, who they work for, right? And this is where you just address that and say no, because it's all performance based. This is based off of the value that you can provide for the company, blah blah blah. And if you frame it in a way where it addresses that concern and, I guess, handles the objection, it's a great way to lure people in that are uncertain, or bridge that gap into people that are uncertain to where they want to buy, or, you know, be interested in what you're doing. So that's also a great way to do that. And last but not least is hook number 5, which is this tip can save you from blank. Now, this hook sparks curiosity and can inform those that are struggling with a specific thing. Now, it depends on what the tip is. Again, like I said, this is kind of an open-ended one where it can be literally about anything, but it's a great way to inform, but also give people value in which, you know, that you could return that and into like, or turn that rather, not return that, but like turn that into, you know, a way where, again, you can bridge that gap to people who don't want to buy from you to buying from you. But it really gives people value, these types of videos, because, again, you're informing them on something. You're giving them tips on how they should do this because it prevents this, right? It's also another way to just like address specific desires or outcomes that people want, and also addresses their problems and their fears and their concerns, right? And how you should avoid these things to get to where they want to be. And if you're able to do that, you're giving them value, and in return, it's kind of a rapport building, if you will, because they trust you. From there, they go like, hey, this is something that I can implement, and, you know, they can implement that and it works for them. They might be more lenient and trustful of you, which means they want to buy from you, if not, you know, follow you in what you do. So you could also add a personal story from this to make it more intriguing. Like you could say like, you know, this tip can save you from this, this, and this. And you could even say, well, I even struggled with this myself, and then give you a little rundown. It's kind of a mixture between hook 4 as well, but this is done in its own unique way. So this is a really good hook. I think all the hooks I described in this video are really well made and really solid. And I think if you can frame them and spin them in the right directions, again, you can bridge that gap from people that are uncertain to people buying your stuff and, you know, wanting, or at least wanting to follow you. So I definitely think these hooks are something you should test out, see how they do. But for the most part, I definitely think hooks in general, focusing on the hook, is the most important thing in your video. So with that being said, I'm going to end this video right here because I've been, you know, chatting for too long. Don't want to be doing that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Catch you guys soon.